This is an ultra-low-cost carrier, and I am as shooketh as you are. The airline, Pegasus. The flight, Frankfurt to Antalya. The video, a deep dive into one of the best-run low-cost carriers out there. Because today I will take you along a journey on Istanbul-based Pegasus, where we will explore what they do differently, look at how they doubled in size over the past decade while still remaining one of the most profitable airlines on the planet, and find out if they offer a good value after all. I'm glad you've decided to join me on this trip, so let's get going. Aviation geeks and frequent flyers, welcome to this new episode of our flight review series, Brutally Honest. I am at Frankfurt Airport this dreary morning, about to fly down to sunny Antalya, the heart of Turkey's Mediterranean coast. And for the majority of travelers, a trip to Antalya begins on one of two airlines: Sun Express, which is a joint venture between Turkish Airlines and Lufthansa, or Turkey's second largest airline, Pegasus. The airline is headquartered at Istanbul's second airport, Sabiha Gökçen, where it operates a massive hub, offering countless connecting itineraries between almost 150 destinations in 50 different countries. This already differentiates the carrier from most of its ultra-low-cost peers, where connections are despised. Even on my flight from Frankfurt to Antalya, there were connecting passengers. Checking in front of me was a couple traveling via Antalya to Kyrgyzstan's capital Bishkek. This makes the carrier an attractive choice for price-conscious travelers on plenty of thinner routes. We actually flew with them back in 2018 from Vienna to Kuwait before non-stop flights between the two cities existed. We're heading to Terminal 2 here at Frankfurt Airport right now, where Pegasus operates out of. As I was amongst the first passengers there, check-in was a breeze, and we can already make our way to the gate. The fare I booked includes a checked bag. Pegasus offers bundles ranging from basic all the way to comfort flex, at pretty fair prices if you ask me, with the most premium package being just 40% more expensive than the cheapest. The airline naturally guides you to pick the more premium bundles. Getting you to pay up is something the airline is really good at. As of the first quarter of 2025, Pegasus makes around 29 euros per passengers in so-called ancillary revenue, meaning things that go beyond the package that you booked. That's even more than textbook low-cost carrier Ryanair, which reported around 23.50 in ancillary revenue per passenger in the last fiscal year. Among these ancillaries are an option to make your ticket flexible for 13 euros, selecting seats, which costs at least 12 euros too, making the Advantage bundle more attractive for me, so I switched to that, which included most seats for free. See how they make you pick the more expensive bundle? A popular example of how companies structure prices to make you pick more expensive options is Apple. You'll see the cheapest iPhone and might think you'll get that, but then a bit more storage isn't that much more expensive. But then you might want to go for the Pro phone after all, and then get extra storage for the Pro too. Pegasus employs the exact same strategy very well. By pricing their different bundles so close together, the barrier to spend more money is low enough for people to pay up. And I am a prime example for how well that works. Other charges you might want to know about are their additional baggage fees, which are insane. 100 euros for an additional 20 kilograms? That is egregious. Even Ryanair only wants 60 bucks for that. Compared to that, the fees for transporting various types of sporting equipment seem fine. But the one thing you'll want to splurge on is their pre-order hot meals, but more on those later. Pegasus also offers a reward program. I'm specifically not calling it a frequent flyer program because it does not offer any perks for frequent flyers. But with each flight you earn bol bol points that you can use towards future purchases with the airline. Bol bol is Turkish and means abundant. Being a low-cost airline, their flights use remote stands here in Frankfurt, with their flights to Ankara, Istanbul and Antalya boarding next to each other. When I booked this trip, I had to choose between Pegasus and this fairly new Turkish charter airline called Mavi Gök Airlines, and back then their flight was scheduled to be operated by a 737. But had I known they'd send their flagship 777 today, Ah. Taking us down to Antalya today is Tango Charlie November Charlie Kilo, a 2020-built Airbus A320neo. Pegasus used to be a big 737 operator, but in recent years they have switched almost completely to A320neo family aircraft, having 46 A320neos and 61 A321neos in their fleet as of July 2025. They're also supposed to get another A321neo basically every month for the rest of the decade. Currently, they're left with just 9 737s, but late last year have placed an order for 100 737 MAX 10s with another 100 options, so the airline is certainly not done growing. One thing that has amused me for years is how Pegasus underlines on every single one of their planes that they are an IATA member. They're so proud of that, even though, well, almost every airline is an IATA member. North Korea's Air Koryo is an IATA member. Anyway, entering the plane through door 1, we are greeted by a typical low-cost cabin. Arranged in the A320's usual 3-3 configuration, this A320neo holds 186 passengers, just shy of its rated maximum, but in line with what you will find on most other low-cost carriers, including the A320neos of AirAsia and Wizz Air. The seats do not come with adjustable headrests or headrest covers. For my height of 180 centimeters, the legroom could be worse. I can manage these 3 hours to Antalya. There's also a standard tray table, as well as a high literature compartment. Adjustable air vents and personal reading lights can be found in the ceiling above. I picked seat 4A for the engine view, of course. Now, let's sit back, relax, and get ready for departure.
Our aircraft has 8 exits, 2 in the forward area, 4 over the wings, 2 at the rear.
Shortly after climbing out of Frankfurt, the pre-ordered meals were handed out. This is where Pegasus shines. A good hot meal is something I am always willing to pay up for. There is just something about having a good meal on a mode of transit, be it on a plane or on a train, that I just find deeply relaxing. Looking out the window, moving across the globe, and having something delicious to enjoy that with, I love that. And Pegasus offers an unbelievable variety of hot meals to pre-order on virtually all of their flights. There are breakfasts, sandwiches, wraps, schnitzel, pasta, steak, chicken, köfte, fish, kids meals, salad, fruit, a heart-shaped cake, vegetarian, kosher, infant, gluten-free, low-fat, low-sodium, low-calorie meals. If you don't find a meal you like to pre-order here, something's wrong with you. Ranging from 5 to 8 euros for the sandwiches and 11 to 20 euros for the meals, I also find the prices totally fine. And quality-wise, you're unlikely to complain either, as Pegasus uses do&co as their caterer. Do&co is a high-end catering company that does upscale in-flight catering for airlines such as Qatar Airways, Turkish Airlines, and Austrian Airlines as well, headquartered in my hometown of Vienna and founded by Mr. Doğan, an Istanbul-born businessman of Turkish and Austrian ancestry. This is also why do&co does both fantastic Turkish and Austrian dishes, which is why I had to see what their schnitzel is like. We've got chicken schnitzel, which is a bit atypical, but veal gets very tough when heated up on airplanes, and a Turkey-based airline won't serve pork for obvious reasons, so chicken it is. It was served alongside classic Austrian parsley potatoes and a lemon wedge, wrapped to keep the seeds from falling onto the dish like it would be in a fine Viennese eatery. We've also got a cold bread roll and butter, a little side salad with a balsamic vinaigrette, and some chocolate mousse for dessert. And then, and I completely forgot about that, the Advantage bundle that I booked also includes a sandwich. All in all, for 11 euros, that is an amazing meal and absolutely worth its price. Just listen to this. That's actually reasonably crispy for something heated up on a plane. Not included in the meal was a beverage, and everything, including water, needs to be paid extra for on Pegasus. Our low-cost carrier water price comparison shows that Pegasus is in line with what most other European low-cost carriers charge, which is a bit more than you'll have to in other parts of the world. Other beverages, hot or cold, non-alcoholic and alcoholic, as well as snacks and a limited number of hot meals can also be purchased on board. Pegasus equipped their planes with Inflight's Equilux Aero Lux 1 wireless digital services platform. A variety of movies and TV shows are available to stream to your device. Those are included with the more expensive bundles or can be purchased on board for an extra 4 euros. Some games and an in-flight mapping application is offered too. Since the plane is not equipped with power ports though, you should charge your device before the flight or bring a power bank. The crew did 2 rounds of service on this flight, or you could say 2 attempts at selling you snacks and beverages, one right after takeoff and one around an hour before landing. And as we're beginning our descent into Antalya, I have to underline my admiration for how well run this airline is. Obviously, it's a low-cost carrier, therefore I won't complain about the limited legroom, missing power ports, or somewhat stiff seats. Also, most of the luxuries displayed in this video were paid extra for. The window seat reservation, the sandwich, checked bag, and in-flight entertainment combined came as a bundle that cost 30 euros more than the cheapest one would have, and the pre-ordered hot meal was another 11 euros. However, in total, I paid just 130 euros for this one-way ticket, and 130 euros for a 3-hour flight, including a checked bag, seat reservation, stream to my device entertainment, and a good hot meal is more than alright if you'd ask me. And I believe it is the value that helped Pegasus grow so rapidly over the previous few years. Obviously, the cost base for running an airline is way lower in Turkey compared to other European countries, but they don't shy away from making good strategic decisions as well. For example, over the past few years, as they have gradually switched from 737-800s to primarily Airbus A321neos, their average number of passengers per flight has also increased from 149 a decade ago to 182 last year. This improves the economics of each sold seat even further, and combined with their young fleet, the great value offered by their ancillaries, and the low cost base that a country like Turkey offers while having access to many high-income markets in the region, and its efficient route network planning enabling fairly high aircraft utilization and plenty of good connections, it is no wonder that the airline is amongst the most profitable in the world, regularly achieving double-digit operating margins. That might not sound like much, but airlines are notoriously thin-margin businesses where most struggle to even get close to 10%, let alone surpass that consistently. So if you come across a good fare on Pegasus and you're willing to sacrifice a bit of seat comfort, I think you'll have a splendid time with them. And with that, welcome to Package Holiday Hell. Welcome to Antalya. I hope you have enjoyed this video and will join me again on another trip soon. Special thanks to all those of you who support our work with a paid sponsorship. Thanks to you, we can take our time to do deep dives into airlines such as this one and spend more time on videos that might not be that interesting but are still useful if you consider flying with said airline. If you want to support our mission to create the most detailed, no-nonsense flight reviews possible, click on the join button beneath this video to learn more, where the lowest support tier starts at just 2 euros per month, which is just 24 euros per year. Even that amount helps us pay for some extra services, like the meal on this flight, to showcase as much of an airline's product as possible. But whether you are a sponsor, a subscriber, or are simply stopping by for this one video, thank you very much for watching and coming along. If you're down for another video, why not check out this episode about Pegasus' main competitor Sun Express, a holiday carrier that's a joint venture between Lufthansa and Turkish Airlines, and somehow ended up with neither of their characters, leaving very little impression.